Hi, folks. So, welcome to my kitchen. I want to talk smoothies this morning. Um, First of all, full disclosure, I am not a smoothie person. I like chewing my food. However, I really want you to think of this smoothie as therapy. Okay. So you would pull this out of your toolbox if, for example, you were feeling especially sluggish, tired, run down, if you're catching everything that's going by, if your weight won't budge, you're doing everything right, and your weight is plateauing, I would suggest pulling this smoothie out. If your bowels are acting up, so if you're struggling with constipation, diarrhea, bloating, any of those kind of things, skin complexion issues. All right. So my challenge would be to do this for 2 weeks and just tune in and pay attention. And I'm pretty sure you're going to notice stuff. So let's just jump in. So the first thing we're going to put into the smoothie, I've just got some frozen fruit. But before I go forward, I just want to show you that it is possible to put all of this stuff together. So you could set up kind of a production line and just have all of the bits frozen in the, ready in the freezer. So this is a time saver here if you want to do that. And of course, you can make it fresh also. Okay, so I've just got some mango because that's what I have on hand, and I'm going to put in about that much. I don't know what that is, probably about 3/4 of a cup. I'm not going to attempt to go back in my freezer. All right, so generally people don't have trouble with fruit, so go for it. Whatever fruit you want, whatever you enjoy. The next thing I want you to get in are the vegetables. All right, so this is where people start to balk a little bit. You're going to select mild tasting vegetables: cucumber, fennel, beet, celery, avocado. So these are your choices. You don't have to get all of this in with every smoothie. Okay, so for today, I'm going to use just a little bit of cucumber because I want to show you how much is going how much is going in. So I've just got a few slices. I'm going to use some of the beet, and I'm not even going to peel it because it's a nice organic beet. And I'm just going to put a couple of slices. There we go. And let's do a little bit of fennel. So again, if you were doing this as a kind of production line and putting the stuff in the freezer, I really encourage you to get as much variety as possible. So there's my little bit of fennel. Okay. Now what ends up happening in my fridge is that all of these little bits and pieces get tossed into a baggie. And like I said, I just grab my baggie in the morning and go. Next thing we're going to put in the smoothie are leafy greens. Okay, so again, you're going to choose mild tasting leafy greens. This is coriander. I really love the flavor in the smoothie. It could just be some romaine lettuce, baby spinach. This is stuff that I had in my garden. So I've got some mint. I've got some of this stuff. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's lovely. You could go with Swiss chard. It could be beet greens, whatever you've got, whatever's abundant. Again, just try and get the variety in. So for today, I think I'm just going to go with some coriander. So I've got kind of a handful going in there, and I'm going to put in some mint, and I'm going to put in some of this stuff. Now, listen, when would you ever get greens and vegetables in at breakfast? Okay, you're going to continue doing what you're doing. You're going to be having your lovely salad with lunch and maybe some beautiful roasted vegetables with supper. But seriously, when are you going to do this at breakfast? All right, so now we've got the leafy greens. The next thing that we're going to get into our smoothie are, I've got notes because I didn't want to forget anything. Yeah, we're going to do the probiotics. Okay, my top pick is milk kefir. I really love this brand. So it's the Liberté brand. And the reason I like this one is because it's actually made with Russian kefir grains. And basically, what that means is this will have about 30 strains of beneficial bacteria. Just to put it in context, yogurt contains 2 or 3 strains. So this is really powerful probiotics. Probiotics, great for the gut, great for there's a gut brain connection. So for our mood, the immune system, super powerful. So a little bit goes a long way. A quarter cup is all you need if you're doing milk kefir. So I'm just going to go, there's my quarter cup. Okay. This is another type of kefir that I've recently discovered. Very powerful. If you use this one, you only need about a tablespoon. It's a coconut kefir. And so anybody with any kind of inflammatory bowel conditions, I highly recommend this, or constipation. So another great probiotic. So that's going to go there. Next thing we're getting in are the omegas. So you've all heard of omega 3s. My top pick is flax oil. You could go with hemp oil. There's different types, but flax is the highest, has the highest omega-3 in the plant kingdom. Now, when you're selecting your flax oil, always choose refrigerated brand. All right. So if it's on the shelf, it's not refrigerated, walk by. Omega-3s, super important for the immune system, for skin especially. So this is where you're going to notice the improvements. So I'm going with, you're aiming for, watch, I'm going glug glug. Whoop, it's a big one. That's probably about 2 good tablespoons. It disappears. You won't taste it in the smoothie. Okay. So flax oil, you will keep in the fridge. Do not cook with flax oil. It doesn't have a high smoke point, and it becomes denatured very quickly. You're going to want to go through these bottles within 2 or 3 weeks, so it goes rancid really quickly. But again, this is really, really targeted nutrition, tons of omegas, super great. Okay. Next thing we're getting into our smoothie, fiber, right? So I have got some chia and some psyllium here. You could also use some ground flax if you'd like. So I like to put a little mix in. So I'm going to put a little bit of each. So you're aiming for anywhere between a tablespoon to 2 or 3. Everybody's different. You just kind of have to tune in and see what sits well with you. So I'm doing about a teaspoon of each in my smoothie. The fiber will feed the good bugs. So those probiotics that we're putting in there, the fiber will feed, super detoxifying. So if there is any weight loss goals, we know that weight loss is very detoxifying. So we need to move those toxins out. Now we have to make the medicine go down. Maybe you want to put in a little bit of honey, right, to make it taste good. Raw local honey is best, so unpasteurized. So honey is full of enzymes, will really help with digestion and help the system in general. So good stuff if it's not, again, if it's not pasteurized. And honey contains 10 strains of beneficial bacteria. So I'm going with just about half a teaspoon. Now, if you were making this smoothie for a kid or for a fussy person, you'll maybe go a little heavier on the fruit. Maybe you'll put a whole teaspoon of honey in. Okay. Again, you just do what you have to do. Now, the last thing, no, not the last thing. The other thing you could put into your smoothie is a little bit of vanilla. The vanilla is just going to lift the flavor of the fruit and the honey and just make it a lot more delicious. And the last thing that's super important that a lot of people forget is just some water, because if you blended this just as is, it will turn into kind of a pasty, very unappetizing kind of mixture. And I think that turns a lot of people off. So I am going to go like that. So there was about a cup. So that's probably about half a cup of water. You're going to, half a cup, 3/4 cup, so that it stays liquid, and you'll see what the texture looks like in a minute. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to blend it, and I'll be right back. All right. So I've blended my smoothie, and you can see it turned into this lovely, I tasted it and I got it all over my mic. it turned into this lovely kind of pink color. That's because of the beets. So I'm just going to switch over to my, oh, here it is. I've got this handy little sippy cup thing. There we go, if I can get it on. All right, done. So this works up to, I guess a good cup. Um, what's important to remember now, we don't have any protein in this smoothie, all right? So if I was having this for breakfast, I would pair this with some kind of protein. So it could be a couple of eggs, some cheese, it could be some nuts and seeds. Uh, you could put the protein, it could be yogurt. You could put the protein in the smoothie, in which case you're drinking your whole breakfast. Again, I like to chew, so I would just have this along with whatever kind of protein I'm having. Okay. The last thing I want to say, super important, and this is going to sound really weird, to chew your smoothie. You're saying it's a smoothie, I can't chew it. I would like you to mix the smoothie with your saliva. The digestion starts in the mouth, and it's super important to just again mix all of that smoothie, all of this goodness with your saliva in order to help your body just fully digest it and metabolize all of the goodness. All right. I hope this has been helpful. And again, I challenge you to 2 weeks and, let me know how it works out. Cheers.